let's go. 2025, I'm talking about.
One nil to the Arsenal. 1-0 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 to the Arsenal. 1-0. You mark. Arsenal F.C. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. And it's Arsenal F.C. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Excuse me, I had to celebrate. I didn't get to celebrate at the end of the game because my head was in a different place. I like, have you ever had, like, I would say, that existential crisis moment? That was what I had at the end of that game, because I was like, this Premier League, these niggas really don't like us. Like, they really don't want us to succeed. So I was like, I was just thinking, I was like, bro, this is some crazy shit, because that shit looked scripted to me in the way the ref did ref the game and didn't give us any calls. They tried to rile up our players. Like, first, I make sure to watch the game and I come back, so I don't just come here talking nonsense. But I watched the game back again, and what I actually saw from that game was, wow. After my head has calmed down, I've cleared my head, and I was able to actually watch the game, without any emotion, just analyze the game as it's from 0 to 90. So watching that game, I am so impressed with our team, so fucking impressed with our boys, because the Premier League tried it. They definitely tried it. The refs tried to rile us up and make us emotional because they want to tell that story. Oh, Arsenal is emotional. I mean, the fans definitely felt that way. Me definitely. I was so pissed. The boys were pissed too, but they screwed their head back on for the game. And this is credit to Mikel, because I'm pretty sure he has instilled that into them. Like, even if the ref don't give you your calls, focus and play the game. That was exactly what I saw. Even me, because I wasn't able to start my watch along from the start, because we were on the way back from church. So when we got in, I was able to actually go live for the game. We were already like 5 minutes in, right? So hopping on straight on stream, and I see Jorginho on the field. I'm like, brother, man, what is going on here? Because Partey was on the bench, and if Partey is on the bench, Partey should be in the team. You know what I'm saying? But Georgie Credit goes to Georgie. Georgie balled. Georgie did what he was supposed to do, right? So me looking at that team initially, I wasn't confident because what I thought was that Man City not having Rodri, Man City not having KDB, this was our opportunity to attack them. But Mikel Arteta thought outside of the box with that when he played Jorginho and Rice in the pivot, right? He thought outside the box because one thing with Man City, without Rodri, they find it hard to play as high as they want to play, right? If you really watch that game, you will see that they always were in a mid block or a low block position because they know if they come out and expose themselves, they don't have a Rodri behind them to be able to clean up and sweep up any transition opportunities. So they had to sit back more to protect the defense a little bit more. So Mikel Arteta kind of realized that Pep was going to play that way because he knows how important Rodri is to that team. He was with Pep and he studied Pep's tactics and all that before he came to us, right? So he already knew that Rodri, not being in the team, they are going to find it hard to even push out, right? So what he decided to do was make sure we control the game, right? In terms of controlling possession. That was why he played Rodri, and that was why he also played Nketiah, right? So there are two ways of controlling the game. You can control the game with the ball and without the ball. You can do that. So the reason he started with Eddie Nketiah, right? Because I thought he would start with Havertz up top and just go straight at them, from minutes 1 to at least 45. Try to see what they can get in those first 45 minutes. That was what I thought he was going to do. But, I'm not the coach. But, you know what I'm saying? So for him, what he realized to do was make sure we limit them to nothing. Limit them to zero. Don't let them have the ball. And when they do have the ball, don't even let them into our half. Right? Because what he did, right? Starting Eddie Nketiah, having Martin Odegaard, having Jorginho in the 6, having Rice in the 8, right? Having Jesus on the right, at least, right? Those he had Gabriel Jesus. He also had Trossard on the left. But when it comes to pressing, it's really in that game. It was really Jesus, Nketiah, Odegaard, and Rice. Those guys were running their socks off all game. Eddie's main job in that game, I would say, for the first 45 minutes in that game was get what you can, but make sure you press them. Make sure you don't give them any moments of peace, right? That was what Martin Odegaard also did all game. That man ran his socks off. That was a captain's performance. Even if he didn't, let's say he didn't create a lot in the game, he led by example. His running performance gingered everybody, gingered everyone, right? So in the first 45 minutes, it was a very cagey game. Mikel Arteta, right, put in Jorginho, put in Rice. Two people that are very intelligent in our midfields, I'll say, defensive midfields. Two of them are very good at making interceptions because of their intelligence. They know where to position themselves, right? So putting Jorginho and Rice in that middle, right? That limited putting them in the middle and also playing narrow as well. Because if you see the way we played defensively, at least for the first 45 minutes, we defended very narrow and we forced them out wide. Man City love to create through the middle. And this is what Rodri definitely helps them do. When he's there, he helps them create through the middle, and also, he's a playmaker as well. So he can find the wings whenever they're open. So we limited them through the middle. Nothing could come through our middle. Everything was going out wide. Everything was going out wide. Playing Jesus, Trossard, Narrow, Nketiah, I would say up top, Martin Odegaard, he had Rice and Jorginho. Anytime Man City tried to get into our own half, the press was triggered. We played in, like I would say, in a mid block, right? And anytime they came closer to our half, that was when we triggered our press. So we didn't even give them time to say, oh, let me give you half of the field, right? And we just sit back and try to stop off anything. We started pressing them from the moment they got close to our own half to make sure we force them out wide, because nothing can come through your middle when you have that block right there, right? Especially when you have Rice in there. Rice covers ground like crazy. Martin Odegaard covers ground like a madman, right? So that limited them, right? Arsenal, I would say, in the first 45 minutes, it was a balanced game. Maybe the would be, I would say, would be the Vadio, I would say, shot that he had that Rice had to clear off the line. After that, Netanyahu kind of played the ball over the bar. So, that was the major scare we had. That, and also Julian Alvarez pressing Raya, right? I will come to that, because that is not solely on Raya, right? Right. So us in the first 45 minutes, the the team instruction was just to limit them, right? Limit them and try to pounce on any errors that they might have. This is how Mikel decided to play Man City, right? This time around. Because last season, when we went gun ho at them, it didn't really end well. But we didn't really have any other choice. We didn't have the team we have now to be able to play this kind of way, right? When we lost 3-1 at the crib, we didn't have Jesus, right? And I'm pretty sure I don't think we had Partey in that game. If there's anybody watching, we can also correct me on that, because I don't think we had Partey on that team. We had Partey in the second game. We got Jesus in the second game, but in that first game at home, I don't think we had them. So the way we played them last season didn't really work out, right? So he decided to play a different way this time, packing out the midfield, forcing them out wide, right? They also don't have KDB, so the chance creation was going to be limited off the bat. And Mikel Arteta said, okay, the chance creation is going to be limited, so let's limit them even more, at least for 45 minutes, right? Then see what we can do in the second half. That was the game plan from Mikel, right? I would say a lot of fans wouldn't agree with that game plan, but it was smart as fuck, right? Even me, I thought we were gonna go at them, take advantage of KDB and Rodri and Gundo not being there. Gundo, huge miss. We'll come to that too, right? So that first 45 minutes was very, very cagey, very tactical. It was just two teams trying to draw each other out. Edison can dwell on the ball, try to bring Arsenal out, right? Try a long ball over to Haaland to see if they can beat our press and trigger an attack that way. Us were doing the same thing. Raya was dwelling on the ball, try to draw them out, and we try to play out from that, right? Either long or short, whichever one. We were both trying to draw each other out for at least 45 minutes. That was why people were saying it was more like a box. that was the whole story of the first half, right? You know, um, let's say on the first half, our major chance that we had, I would say the major chance we had in the first half was Edin Ketia going wide. Now that chance, if Edin Ketia had a better first touch, that chance is easier for him to score. He took a touch that took him wide. If he took a touch that took him straight, he had an easier chance to open up his body and put it in that corner that he eventually tried to find. Right, his touch took him out wide, which is why he had to turn around, cut back inside, and find that shot, even though it went horribly wide. So that is definitely something that holds Edin Ketia back, because when it came to his pressing game, he worked his socks off for us. But when he had a chance to, score, didn't work out. His first touch let him down at least twice in that game, at least twice, because it also let him down in the second half as well. There's a chance. I'm not sure who created that chance for him in the second half. I think it might have been Odegaard, who kind of clipped the ball over the defense, and Eddie took a bad touch that took him kind of wide again. Right. So yeah, if I'm mistaken, you can always correct me down in the comments. But right, Erling Haaland, zero opportunities. I'm the type of guy that I would say if you want to pick a player for the Ballon d'Or, you have to watch what he contributes to the team as a whole. Right? Erling Haaland is the person who needs service 100%. If you don't feed him, he doesn't really do much on the team. Now, we did keep Haaland quiet a lot, right? But he did have opportunities where he could have still hurt us. There was this ball. Oh, there was this ball over the top. I think it was from Vardiol, who crossed from the left side, and I think David Raya, credit to Raya, he got the slightest of touches on that cross. People might think he didn't touch the ball, but he did. If you watch it closely, you will see the rotation of the ball change once Raya's glove got to it. That chance could have been a tap in for Haaland if David Raya didn't get that touch on the ball. So that is credit to Raya, right? Right. That is credit to Raya. That was one of the moments where Erling Haaland could have still hurt us, right? So now coming to that David Raya moment where Julian Alvarez pressed him and almost, got a rebound goal just off of, us trying to play out from the back. That sequence, because it's a sequence of, let's say, pressure. It's between Raya and Gabriel. It's not just Raya's fault. Raya had a hand in it, Gabriel had a hand in it. But Raya started it off. Raya was trying to bait Man City into pressing us, right, to come get the ball, right? A Man City player got close. I think it was Erling Haaland that got close. And to me, it seemed like Raya panicked and passed the ball quickly to Gabriel. But in that panic moment, he kind of played it in front of Gabriel. Gabriel had to stretch and control the ball. So when he stretched and controlled the ball, he had a City player on him already. So Gabriel too kind of had a panic as well, right? I think he gave it back to Raya. Raya gave it to, I think Gabriel kind of had that panic and gave it to, I think he gave it to Rice in the middle, right? Or it was Jorginho in the middle. It was one of them in the middle, right? He panicked and gave it to the middle. Now that was a risky pass that he made eventually. Sorry, he made right there because he had a City player in front of him. But on under pressure, he passed the ball to the player in the sixth position. The player in the sixth position gave it to Zinni out on the left. Zinni gave it back to Gabriel. Gabriel kind of dwelled on the ball a little bit, tried to draw City out again, and then passed it back to Raya. Now, that pass back to Raya that Gabriel gave wasn't quick enough. Raya is better with his feet. So Gabby should have trusted him more and gave him a more forceful pass right there. If Gabriel gave him a stronger pass, Raya brings it under control and gets it out before even Alvarez could get there. But that slow pass from Gabriel kind of made Raya panic as well because it was a slow pass. I'm going to control it. I'm trying to get it out and I'm trying to launch it, right? So he got it. He turned, and before he could launch it out, Julian Alvarez got there. Yo. My love's in the building, my G. What's good? What is good, brother? 1-0 to the Arsenal, Abi. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Let them know. Nah. Let's go. Yeah. I'm trying to see if this is showing on the screen, right? Because me, I can't see it. But maybe it's on YouTube. It's all good. Yeah. So, well, I was Raya and Gabriel, right? Yeah. So that is that moment. That moment was on both of them, Raya and Gabriel. So it's not strictly Raya's fault. Gabriel had a big hand in it too, right? Which other moment I'm trying to get to? I mean, we all saw the clip of Saliba bodying Haaland, but hey, nothing new. We have the antidote, like I said before. I've said that multiple times now. I said it on stream. I sent a tweet out after the what's it called? Our win in the community shield, right? I said it back then. We have the antidote, right? We have the antidote for Erling Haaland. Right. So beating them in the community shield game, Mikel took experience from that game and used it for this one. Because if you see the way we played in the community shield as well, the first 45 minutes we kind of played the same way. Just stifle them, limit them to 0, force them out wide. That was the same thing we did in that game. And he did the same tactics in this one, right? Limit them, force them out wide. Second half is when we try and win the game, right? But I'm not even going to get into the Kovacic thing because I've said it before. Everybody already knows he should have been sent off. I don't know why he was still on the field, but that is where I would say the scripting happens. These referees are paid actors, in my opinion. These referees in the Premier League, if there's anything scripted about the league, is those refs. Those refs are definitely scripted. Those refs are there to give us an occasion and to tell a story, right? They try to rile up our players and see if we would react in the same way we've been reacting over the years to bad decisions going against us, because our players tend to lose their heads in the past and let it affect their game. They didn't allow that to happen this time. That is why in my thumbnail, I would say I scream we have matured, because the way we played the rest of that game after those drastic injustices and other injustices throughout the game, I was very proud of that because we did not let it affect us at all. Martin Odegaard got up and still ran his socks off for the rest of that game, right? Even when I was watching the game on the watch along, when I was doing my watch along and I was watching the game, he looked very, I would say, structured. That first 45 minutes kind of looked, I would say not exciting, right? So even the fans kind of went quiet too. Martin Odegaard had to rev up the fans a few times. Even Mikel Arteta had to do it a few times. But That was part of the game plan. That was how we decided to go into that game, right? So now going into the second half, right? Going into the second half. Start of the second half. This is why I called it a Mikel masterclass, right? Start of the second half. Second half is when both Mikel and Pep Guardiola would want to try and win the game, right? Because even Pep knew without Rodri, if you try to go, I would say, all-out attack with us, that's going to be a problem for him. So Pep also knew as well. Pep also tried to limit us through the middle as well by playing lower block, and also playing narrow as well. That is why Jesus had space on the right a lot of the time, because Pep also decided to play narrow. Both managers decided to kind of use similar tactics in the first half, which is kind of, I would say, I mean, what you would expect from people who has been working with each other for years, right? So they kind of know what the other one might want to do. So they both decided to, hey, let's just keep it structured, keep it, safe for the first 45 minutes and try to win it in the second half. So second half, right? Mikel is the first one that showed bravery. He's the first one that showed bravery to try and win the game by bringing Martinelli on, but still keeping the same tactics, right? He brought Martinelli on, right? But he still kept Jorginho and Rice in the middle, right? But with Martinelli on, right, we could press them a bit higher, right? Because Martinelli has the pace to recover if needed. That if Trossard gets beat going the other way, it's going to be hard for him to kind of recover. So when he brought Martinelli on, we kind of started pressing a bit higher. But in terms of when Man City had possession of the ball, we reverted back to our narrow shape. We reverted back to that shape and tried to, I would say, limit them going through our center. So he still kind of kept the same general tactics, but a different press, let's say, a different press. Because we pressed them higher, right? And Kyle Walker always had to know where Martinelli was. Martinelli, my star boy, came on and showed Man City what I was trying to tell their fans. I'm pretty sure y'all saw at the start of the video my tweet that I replied to one of the City fans talking about, rivals beware, and put in the picture of 4 of them. And me, I just said, hey, Martinelli says hello. I knew it. I know my star boy. Martinelli says hello. All these niggas are slow. All of them. They all slow. So once Martinelli gets Walker playing on the right. So, Kyle Walker is quick, he's strong, but Martinelli is quicker. So Kyle always had to know where Martinelli was, right? If you leave him, Martinelli, knowing that Martinelli was always, I would say, a threat on that left side, Kyle Walker himself couldn't even go forward as much, right? So that pinned City back even more, right? This is where I said is Mikel's, tactical genius coming through. Martinelli on, but keeping the same, I would say, defensive plan, plus a higher press to try and cause more mistakes and try and win the game. This is what, he's trying to raise the intensity level of the team to get them to that point where they're trying to win this game, right? So 45 minutes, right? We for the first 6 minutes of that second half, Man City couldn't get out. They could not get out, right? They could not get out. They could not build up. They couldn't do shit. They had to go long. When they went long, we are winning the second ball, right? They could not get out for 6 minutes of the first half. If you go watch it again, every build up they tried to do, we snuffed it out. At least for the first 6 minutes. Even Pep realized that, bro, we are not doing anything here, which is why I would say 10 to 15 minutes into the second half is when he already said, I'm about to make a triple change, triple substitution. When has people seen Pep make a triple substitution all at one go, like like that? He knew that he was not getting any change. Our press was too crazy. So he brought Doku on that had pace. He brought John Stones on, right? To try and at least have some, I would say, control in that middle. To try and have some control in the middle of the park, right? There is no Rodri, there's no Gundogan, right? So Kovacic is not gonna do anything at this age, you know. He's more of I would say, ball. He's more of a person that can pick up the ball and run with it than, I would say, tac, tac, tactically building up from the back, right? And being a destroyer. That's not Kovacic's game at all, right? So he brought on John Stones to kind of help more with that. And he also brought on, who else? He brought on Matheus Nunes as well to help with ball carrying. He tried to be more direct in the second half. This was Pep's way of trying to win the game as well, right? So that was Pep's move to try and win that game, because he saw that when Martinelli came on, Arsenal had control of everything, pretty much. Arsenal had control of Man City out of possession because they couldn't even get out at all. Fast as fuck, boy. Bro, Martinelli is fast as fuck, bro. Martinelli is a speed human. So quicker, right? So that pinning them back with Martinelli, he decided to bring on those substitutions, right? Now, when he brought out those substitutions, that put us under pressure a little bit. This is why Mikel reacted to it within 6-7 minutes by bringing on our own triple change, right? So when Pep brought on Doku, Nunes, and John Stones, at least they became a bit more direct. Matheus Nunes was able to run past a few players, even if he didn't really do much, because Rice was there, and Rice fucking balled out. Like our players balled out in possession. Sorry, balled out of possession first. In possession, we were okay, but our off the ball performance was freaking incredible. We didn't let them have any moment of peace whenever they approached our side of the field. You will see what I think about the boys when it comes to the player ratings, right? When I get to that point. But when he brought on the Doku, them became more direct. Doku came on Zini's side and tried to cause some problem on Zini's side, right? Zini held it down still, but Mikel is not taking any chances, which is where he's learning fast. Even if Zini is still okay defensively, he's still shaky eventually. So he was like, Zini off, Tamiyasu on, Havertz on for Nketiah, and Partey on for Jorginho. Now that right there, those triple change, we took that game back from Pep. Took it back from them niggas. He really, like, Pep made some smart decisions by bringing those three players on, but Mikel, that triple change wrestled that game back from Pep, 100%. Pate came in, brought in more control, brought in more guile in build up, right? So we were able to keep the ball more and still press them high with fucking Rice and Odegaard, right? Martinelli now actually won the game for us. Is a tactic that I've seen this season already. So this is planned. The Tomiyasu sticking close to Kai Havertz, him making that run from left back because he went from left back in inverted into midfield and then made that run. That I've seen Drew and Timber take up that space this season as well. So it's definitely a planned tactic. There's nobody that can tell me, oh, that shit was a fluke. No, that's a planned tactic. Tomiyasu making that run. Thomas Partey. Now this is where Partey is a beast. If Partey messes up that ball, if he plays it too long, if he plays it too short, we don't score. Partey got that ball on the fucking dime to Tomiyasu's head. That is how much of a quality passer Thomas Partey is. Even though he can still misplace passes here and there, that will still piss us off. In terms of his aim, dope. He found Tomiyasu on the dime. Tomiyasu found Havertz. Havertz found Martinelli, right? Tomiyasu making that run made Kyle Walker have to track him and leave Martinelli open because he has to make a decision. Do I let Tomiyasu in between me and I think it was Ruben Diaz there at that time? So do I let Tomiyasu in that space or do I leave Martinelli free? That already put Kyle Walker in a different mindset, right? But at that point in time, he can't do nothing but react. Places over the top. Tomiyasu takes that space. Kyle Walker tracks Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu to Havertz. Havertz to an open Martinelli. Martinelli's open now. Bang. Deflection and it goes in. To me, I would take that luck because Man City were lucky to have 10 players on that field. So that string of luck, I would take it. You can say both teams were lucky in that game. Even if we ended up winning the game, you can say both teams were lucky. Man City were lucky to still have 10 players on that field. Arsenal were lucky with that goal to get that deflection off of Nathan Ake's face. Like you can't write that in the script. That was just amazing. Off of his face, Ederson, no chance at all. Right? 1-0 to the Arsenal, right then and there. Right. Once we got that goal, Man City were dead and gone. Man City weren't doing anything else after that goal. That goal kind of shocked them to their bones because they were playing for a draw at that point. When Kai Havertz, Tomiyasu, and Partey came in, they were playing for a draw. I'm talking about Man City now. They were playing for a draw. They did not want to come out. They did not want to do none of that. They were trying to get a point and get the hell up out of there. The refs tried to help them with a point too, But this is where I say we have matured. We didn't let the bad calls get to us. We didn't let the pressure get to us. We kept our game plan going. Partey kept his head to make sure he got that aim perfect. Tomiyasu, head down to Havertz. Havertz, noticing Martinelli available. I'm finding him. Everybody kept their heads in that moment. We were still focused on winning that game. Even if Manchester City didn't want to win it, we wanted to win it. We made the sub. We made the subs and the tactical dis, decisions to win that game. Right? Me, I am so happy. I'm so proud of the way our boys played that second half. Just watching the game back and analyzing it with no emotion, none of that. Just watching the game back, watching this team play, watching that team play, and seeing how they were canceling each other out and seeing how they were trying to break each other down. Right? Our boys ran their socks off, like I keep saying. They ran their socks off that second half. Right? I'm so proud of the way they played. So proud of it. This game showed me that if Man City is without Rodri for a significant point of the season, it's going to be a significant detriment to their game. KDB comes back in January. That is already affecting their creativity, right? That is already affecting their creativity. There is no Gundo, right? There's no Mahrez. Now, if they had Gundo, they will be able to get by without Rodri. But the fact that Gundo left this team, Mahrez left this team, that is a major hit to City's tactical flexibility. That is a major hit because Gundo is a freaking amazing player. World class, no doubt. No doubt. That man can play the 6, that man could play the 8, that man could play a 10. Gundo could do it all. And his touch was freaking immaculate, bro. So them losing Gundo, I can see a lot of fans, let's say Man City fans are not really worried yet about their squad. If Rodri goes down, if he has an injury, it's going to be panic stations, or it should be panic stations for them, because there's nobody that can do Rodri's role like Gundo could. Mahrez is not there. If anybody could do a shift and put a quality cross in the box without KDB, it's Mahrez. Mahrez is not there. Now they got Foden on there. Foden doesn't really cross like that. Foden is more of a give me the ball and I'm trying to beat 2 or 3 guys. That is what Foden does, right? Who else did they even have? They used Foden. They used Alvarez. Yeah, they had Alvarez on the team, right? He's a striker. He can create a bit. He's no KDB when it comes to that role. So them losing Gundo and Mahrez is huge. It's huge. Them losing those two and us adding Rice and Timber, even if we haven't seen Timber players, us adding Rice and Timber and Havertz brings us closer to Man City. So them losing those two, us adding those 3, kind of closed that gap, in my opinion. And it showed in that game. That gap has closed. Now, whether we are better than them, not yet. We have to see how they fare when KDB and Rodri are in the team. That is how we can really judge to see, okay, how is Man City really looking now, right? Without Gundo, without Mahrez, Matias Nunes, Jeremy Doku, you cannot compare those guys to Gundo and Mahrez. I'm sorry. Kovacic, hell no. You cannot compare those guys to Gundo and Mahrez. Nope, you can't. So in terms of quality depth, Man City has lost some. Man City has lost some. Their fans may not re 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 re, re realize it yet, but it shows to the people who are watching closely. It's very evident. It's very evident, right? So me, I'm just saying that to say it could be a very good season for us this year, especially if we get Tony and Neto in. If we get Tony and Neto, niggas in trouble. You niggas in trouble. Let me just tell you right now. You niggas in trouble. But going into player ratings for us, nobody is gonna get less than a 7 for me. Just based on the occasion, the size of the game, and how the boys played both off the ball, on the ball, right? Off the ball performances, incredible. On the ball performances, we did create 2 big chances, right? These are just one of them. These we ate it. I was so pissed at Gabi Jesus for not squaring this ball to Rice. Look at how open Rice is. This moment, Gabi Jesus just didn't pick up his head. This is in the second half, right? He had 2 of these moments with Rice in the center and Gabi Jesus out on the right side, right? If Gabi squares it there, Rice has a tap in. Either that chance or the other chance. Either one of them, we could have scored. Overall, offensively, we were the better team. Offensively, I would say that we were the better team. The major big chances that they had was, like I said, Alvarez press and the Vadio off of the line, right? Those were the 2 major chances that they had. Our chances were chances that where if we can make that final pass where we just square it, we have tap-ins, right? So offensively, we were the better team. But out of possession, that is where I'm going to put most of my ratings on. Because when you play Man City, your off the ball performance has to be A1, unless you're going to give them easy spots for them to pass through, right? So David Raya in the game overall, he gets a 7 from me. He gets a 7 from me overall in that game. He did have some shaky moments where, played a risky pass out to Rice where he got tackled by freaking I can't remember who gave him that crunching challenge. I think it was Kovacic. This is not the foul where he should have gotten the second yellow. I think this was earlier in the first half where he played a straight ball out to Rice in the middle, but I think he slightly overhit the pass. The same type of pass that what's his name? Ramsdale made against Southampton at home, where he gave up that easy goal, right? That's the same kind of pass that Raya did in the first half that Rice got tackled off, and they almost had a shot at our goal. So he did have a few shaky moments, but overall game gets a 7. He commanded his area very well, right? Like I said, that ball over from Bavadio that was going to Erling Haaland's head, if he didn't get a touch on that, he could have landed on Erling Haaland's head and he gets a tap-in header. So he was brave enough to come out and he made sure he got something on the ball. He made sure he got at least a fingertip on it to at least put Haaland off. So he commanded his area very well. He baited Man City with the press, right? which was a tactical instruction for sure. Second half, his long balls were on point. You know, he did have a few that went wide and stuff like that, but especially when we had the lead in that game, his long balls were on point. So commanding of the area and helping us control possession, he gets a 7 for me. He didn't really have a save to make, but he still gets a 7 for me because those are very important qualities, right? Benjamin White. In that game, Benjamin White for me gets an 8 in that game. He was solid. He didn't really, go forward a lot because, like I said, our main job was to stifle City first and then see how we can win the game in the second half. So as a defense unit, we were very good. Benjamin White would get an 8 for me. When Jeremy Doku came on, people were thinking he would do something to Ben White, but it was actually the other way around. Ben White ended up making him instead of the other way, right? So Ben White overall gets an 8 for me. He gets an 8. William Saliba, one of my candidates for the man of the match, gets a 9. I don't have to say too much about that. You guys watched the game. Everybody watched the game, right? We all saw what he did to Erling Haaland, right? We all saw how he bodied him, how he pretty much kept him quiet. Any 50-50 duel that him and Erling Haaland had, he pretty much came out on top every time. He lost his balance once and still got up and got to the ball before Haaland could, right? So his performance was just pretty much immaculate. So he gets a 9. Big Gabby gets an 8 because even if he was a bit shaky with the ball at his feet, defensively, he was sound. There is this one moment, though, where Big Gabby kind of made the wrong decision defensively right here. This is when Erling Haaland, right? I'm pretty sure this is second half, where I think Mateo Kovacic was the one with the ball at his feet, right? And Gabriel was the one tracking Haaland, right? So when Erling Haaland dropped into that 10 area to receive the ball and turn, Gabriel tracked that run. But Gabriel tracking that run, he tracked that run without covering his defensive space that he just Saliba space. If you see, he's covering Saliba's space and leaving his own space open. Now you see Julian Alvarez making that run into that spot. If Erling Haaland had better balance and could use his right foot without almost dying, if Erling Haaland was able to stay on his feet, he could have found that pass to Julian Alvarez. And that's a one-on-one. And I will bank on Alvarez scoring from there. So that is the one major defensive moment I would say that Gabriel made the wrong decision. I mean, let me not say he made the wrong decision because he's supposed to track him there. It's just you're supposed to cover your space and not Saliba's space. So track him, but make sure you're covering your area and not letting that easy passing lane open up. That's the only, I would say, major lapse in defensive performance that Gabriel had, right? The rest of his performance was pretty much top notch. He also helped in pocketing Erling Haaland as well, which is why on my thumbnail I made sure to have them both, Gabi and Saliba, because they both had a great performance, right? Zini for me gets a 7. Zini didn't really put, I would say, he didn't really put a foot wrong in the game, right? His passing was 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 good. He was the only one who was able to find Martin Odegaard in space through City's middle, right? In the first in the first in the first half. And when Jeremy Doku came on second half, he didn't really get any change out of Zinni. Zinni stood his ground until he was subbed. So I can't really say Zinni had a, I can't really pinpoint any weak moments from Zinni. I really can't even pick anyone's out, right? So Zinni gets a 7 for me, right? In the middle, Jorginho gets a 7 for me. He kept it ticking, and his positioning was spot on. He knew which spaces to cover up to limit any passing through our middle. Rice was more of the energetic person running around and winning the ball and stuff like that. But Jorginho was more, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to stand over here. I'm going to make this short dash over here. I'm going to just move my body right here to make sure that I'm covering any holes that Rice might be, evacuating, right? So he did that very well, and he controlled our flow, controlled our rhythm, controlled our tempo of our build-up well as well. So he gets a 7 for me until he came off the field. Now, he was defensively shaky sometimes because, he's not the most physical at this age. So he was getting run past sometimes, but he was able to recover sometimes as well. So I'm not gonna put too much of a downer on it, right? He gets a 7 for me for his overall performance. Declan Rice gets a 9 for me as well. That man, you don't see him coming. You don't see Declan Rice coming when he's coming to get the ball off of you. You just don't know where it's coming from. That man is what they call a ball winner. He has the pace, he has the tenacity, he has the physicality, he has the timing, he has the intelligence to know where to position himself, to know how to nick the ball back off of you without you even knowing he's there. That man is something else. For the people who are still underrating him, I don't know what you guys are watching. This man has not even started running past players yet. He has not started running past players. Mikel hasn't even given him that license yet. So we are just seeing one part of Rice's game still, and he's looking this good, right? Rice gets a 9 for me. Pressing, winning the ball back, positioning, just overall intelligent play. He's the one who cleared that ball off of the line from Vardio. So he's in his intelligence to just be in that space, saved us a goal. Saved us a goal for sure. Right? So even if he didn't score, he definitely saved us a goal. So he gets without him, we don't win that game at all. We don't win that game. Right? Martin Odegaard, even if he didn't do much of his creation today, he gets an 8. Just watch Odegaard for 90 minutes of that game. I don't know how he does it. That man does not get tired. He ran his socks off. Minute 1 to 90 to 94 or whatever. He ran his socks off. That was a real captain's performance. You cannot look at your captain doing that and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to slack." Hell no. You're gonna be off the field very soon. Very, very soon. So even if he didn't create, he gets an 8 for me. Just being able to press at that tenacity, that consistency, knowing even if I'm on this side and the player with the ball is on that side, it's still my responsibility to go and make sure he doesn't get a pass off. Odegaard did that so many times. Like, like, let me not say too much. Let me not say too much. Moving on to Gabi Jesus now. Gabi Jesus. I would say Gabi Jesus gets a 7 from him. He gets a 7. There are moments where he could have gotten an assist in this game by picking his head up in time and squaring the ball across. That was where I would say his major down points come from. He's not picking his head up to see players in good positions to score and making sure you get that ball to them. But pressing, helping us in our build-up, just knowing where to be at on the field, where to be able to effect the game. He did that very well. So that alone helped us to stifle Man City and make sure they don't create nothing and limit them to 0 goals. To get a clean sheet off of Man City, that was a whole team effort. It wasn't just our defense. It was a whole team effort to get that clean sheet. So Gabriel Jesus gets a 7 from me. So hopefully he can get back to his scoring ways against Chelsea when we start, when we come back, right? So he gets a 7. Trossard in the first half, I can't really say he did anything special. He kept the ball ticking, He did help us, retain possession. Pretty much that was Trossard's main role. Help us retain possession, help us retain our shape and press where it's needed. So he did his job as far as I'm concerned. Him against Kyle Walker is a pretty much non-starter. Physically, Kyle Walker is stronger than him. Kyle Walker is faster than him. So he did what he could by retaining the ball for us and not losing it easily, and helping us limit them through our middle. So he gets a 7 because that's a team. That's a whole team effort. So he still gets a 7. Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, I'm gonna still give him that 7. I'm gonna still give him that 7 because he worked his socks off. Nobody gets less than a 7 from me because just off of our defensive performance, nobody gets a 7. Eddie Nketiah, his main down point is his touch on the ball. His touch lets him down very, very often. I don't know why. I'm not like, bro, you've been a professional for this long. You've been an Arsenal team for this long. Your touch cannot keep letting you down this often because your touch is costing you goals, Eddie. Like facts. Your first touch is costing you goals. It's costing you goals. The moment you get that first touch right, you're going to be scoring a whole lot more. You're going to be scoring. He had that chance, like I said before, he had that chance where the touch took him wide. He had to come back and put it wide. He had another chance in the second half. Same thing, touch let him down. So offensively, he was poor. But defensively and pressing and making sure he doesn't let City have any moment peace. No, there's nothing coming through the middle. You have to go out wide. Because when you press a center back, he has to go sideways. So Eddie Nketiah doing that has forced them to go out wide as well. Right. So I'm gonna give him his props for that. Right. So I think that's the entire first 11. If I'm missing anybody, I don't think I'm missing anybody from the first 11 as well. The subs now. That's Nelly Starboy. He gets an 8 from me. If he played the whole game and still kept that same intensity, he probably would have gotten a 9. He's our match winner, you know. So he gets an 8 off of being just a match winner, right? But like I said, his press, his tenacity in the second half. Let me see. I got some comments. Let me respond to those. Yep. Saliba clean sheet, bro. Hell yeah. Saliba clean sheet. So he has no license. Who is this referring to? But I do love the fact that you dropped no license in there. If you haven't listened to that song, it's out on all platforms. So make sure you go check it out. Just look up No License by Dr. Ill and Top Boy. Topboeui. Right? Listen to that song and let me know what you think. That shit is fire. Yeah. So who are you referring to with this statement? Is he Mr. Ellen Haaland? Oh, Declan Rice? Declan Rice has no license? What do you mean by that? Oh, he has no license to go forward yet. Maybe that is coming, soon. You already know. Let him know, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Let him know. Yeah. Declan Rice, he doesn't have a license to run past people yet. Because Mikel hasn't given him that license yet. I'm hoping that license comes very soon. So we can see the full effect of Declan Rice. Yes, exactly. That is what yep. So I said that because Arteta didn't give him license to drift. Yep. So he doesn't have that yet, but I'm hoping to see that very soon. When Partey is going to be in that 6 and Rice is in that 8, Rice has the ability to just pick up the ball and run past your midfield. This is what people haven't paid attention to about Rice's game. I don't know why, because they think he's playing in a West team. It's the system that's helping him. No, that guy is more than a DM. Like I said in my Rice review, in my baller review. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you check it out. But yeah, going into subs. Give me a second. Let me take this call real quick. All right, let's go. Yeah, so second half, subs coming on the field. We had Martinelli. I gave him an 8 already. I've already explained why. Who else came on? Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's cameo. That tactic. He will get a 7, but that tactic played it to perfection. The timing of the run, perfection from Tomiyasu. Doku, I side because I'm pretty sure he was on Ben White's side the time Tomiyasu already came in the game, right? And I've been saying this about Tomiyasu too. Like he's underrated, right? As an all-round player, right? He's underrated. People just see him as a 1v1 specialist. He's more than that. He's ball-footed. He can pick a pass. He can pick a long ball too, right? And he's smart as well. So I'm just happy that he timed that one to perfection. Got it to Havertz. Havertz got it to Martinelli. Martinelli put it in the net. Tomiyasu gets a 7 from me. I don't have to say too much. He had 15 to 20 minutes to effect the game, and he effected the game to the maximum. Right? So he gets a 7. Havertz gets a 7 for me. He got an assist. He made sure to keep our control when Raya was sending long balls over to him. He made sure to bring it down. He made sure to keep it moving, right? When you play a long ball, you have to have somebody who's willing and able to receive it. So he did his job when he came on the field. He was supposed to be our option to bypass City's press and just make them keep on running. He did that very well. All right, so he gets a 7. So that's Tomiyasu. Oh, Partey, the general. Just for the aim alone, to get that pass on the dime, Partey gets a 7. Just for that aim alone, he gets a 7. Because if he underhits that pass by any what do you call it, any amount, if he underhits it, if he overhits it, we don't score. And we most likely tie the game 0-0. But he had to get that shit perfectly, and he got it right. Do you know how quality of a pass that is? That pass is so underrated. So underrated. I'm so happy Partey is back from his injury. I'm so happy because against Chelsea, I'm trying to see Rice, Partey, Odegaard. I'm trying to see what that midfield can do for 90 minutes. I just want to see what that midfield can do for 90 minutes. We saw it at the Community Shield, but it wasn't for 90 minutes, right? Because I think they brought Partey off in the second half at some point. But I want to see what that midfield can do for 90 minutes, though. My G, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. I think it's on the screen. Oh, I think I gotta take this up to be able to see it. All right, here we go. My guy went to go sleep, man. My guy, appreciate you showing up, G. Appreciate you. Yeah, have a great night, and I hope you dream about us winning the league because that shit might be coming true, fam. Yeah, but all in all, man, that performance showed me that the boys are grown. The boys are not gonna let no ref come in between them and their destiny. At least from this game, that was that game showed me. I hope we can continue this throughout. I hope we can continue it throughout the rest of the season. I really, really hope this mental maturity that we showed against City. I hope we can take it to Chelsea. I hope we can take it to Liverpool. We can take it to Man United. We can take it to every fucking team we play this season. Because if we have that mental maturity going, bro, we could be celebrating. I could be busting out this crown right here. This crown might be coming on very soon. Telling you right now, that game he definitely gingered me for this season. The boys are serious. Arsenal fans have a right to be excited, but let's not go too crazy. Right? Let's keep our head level. Let's keep backing the boys. Even if they have a slip up, Let's not melt down. 2-2. Boys are saying Sakateta. What kind of nonsense is that? I was hearing rubbish like that because we drew 2-2 with Fulham. Sack Mikel Arteta. What? Like that cannot be how we react to every slip up. We cannot react like that. We can't. So appreciate you all for coming through. Whoever stopped by to watch, thank you. Whoever's watching on the replay, appreciate you watching as well. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't. And I'll be seeing you all soon. I will try and be on here as much as I can. I work 40 to 50 hours a week, so I literally had to jump on this after I got back from the lab today, and you can hear the fatigue in my voice too. You can definitely hear it. But I'm glad I stopped by today. Appreciate y'all stopping by as well. See y'all next time. Peace, man. I gotta go crash too. While I don't go crash, I need to go crash too. I'm tired small. Peace.
Let's go, let's go. 2025, I'm talking about.